Namaskar. Welcome you all at the literary platform Sahityapath. You are watching KHAMOSH Bhookh. In the previous episode, we saw how Buddhiya, dressed in the clothes Babuji had brought for her, looked like a fairy and felt an uncontainable excitement within her. Buddhiya spread her dupatta wide with both hands and let it flutter in the wind. It was as if a newborn bird was ready to break free from its nest and take flight, or as if someone wanted to embrace all the happiness of the present moment, leaving behind worries of the past and future. She started wandering around the native flowers blooming in front of her house. As she twirled around, a strong gust of wind suddenly came, snatching the dupatta from her hands and carrying it down the slope towards the road. Buddhiya ran after it and saw that the dupatta had landed on the windshield of a slow-moving car. For a moment, she hesitated. She was wearing these new clothes for the first time today and didn't want to suddenly appear before a stranger. But as the car stopped, Babuji stepped out. He held a bag in one hand and with the other he carefully picked up the dupatta, ensuring it didn't touch the ground and get dirty. As Buddhiya saw him, a smile blossomed on her red lips, just like flowers smile at the rising sun. She instinctively crossed her arms over her chest, shrinking into herself the way a modest woman does when her dupatta is removed. Babuji walked up to her, placed the bag on the ground and gently draped the dupatta over her head. Ah! Buddhiya's expression in that moment was priceless. Her face turned deep red and she lowered her gaze. But when she dared to lift her eyes and glance sideways at Babuji, he couldn't help but smile in response. Writers, poets and filmmakers have often described such sidelong glances from beautiful women as the most lethal weapon in the world. No man, no matter how strong, can escape their power, an irresistible force. However, whether this weapon wounded Babuji or not, he did not let it show. He masked all his emotions behind a single composed smile. He remained as calm, collected, and serious as ever. Either Babuji was acting or he had seen enough beauty in his life that Buddhiya's piercing gaze had no effect on him. Babuji took Buddhiya along and walked her home. He had secretly stolen a full glance at her when she had lowered her eyes in shyness. That moment gave him the chance to truly admire her. When someone wears new clothes in a civilized society, she usually receives compliments on her appearance. Following this custom, Babuji formally remarked, "Buddhiya, you look very beautiful today." Buddhiya, however, gave no response. She clutched the dupatta tightly in her hands and shrank into herself once more. She didn't know what to say. Buddhiya was beautiful like a lotus, no doubt, but had risen from the mud, hidden beneath layers of filth. Today, with those layers removed, she appeared as fresh and radiant as a newly wed bride. Babuji sat briefly on the khatiya, lost in thought. Then, as if making up his mind, he stood up again. Now he didn't need an invitation to sit, nor did he check for dust before taking a seat. This time Babuji had also brought his own harmonium so that his melodies could sound just the way he liked. Placing the harmonium on one side of the khatiya, he sat down near the backrest, preparing for what was to come.